The Jackson Central Appraisal District presents Residential Homestead Exemption, General Information and How to File for the Exemption. This presentation is provided to explain a definition of the term homestead as it relates to the property tax code, the residential homestead exemption and benefits it provides, requirements for eligibility, important filing dates and deadlines, where applications may be obtained, an overview of the different sections of the application, and where the application must be filed. A homestead is defined as the one primary residence of a person. A property owner may not claim another homestead exemption inside or outside the state of Texas. The homeowner must file application for homestead exemption with the appraisal district and will not receive the benefits of property tax savings until this has been done. Furthermore, the exemption will be lost if the homeowner leaves the homestead property by taking up primary residence elsewhere. However, reapplication may establish a new homestead exemption at the most current primary residence. The Texas Property Tax Code provides an exemption for owner-occupied property. The exemption removes a portion of value from taxation, which gives an eligible property owner a lower tax amount for a homestead property. A homestead exemption also restricts the amount that the assessed value of a residential property may increase from one year to the next. And finally, there are no charges associated with filing a homestead or any other exemption. Property owners eligible for the homestead exemption must have owned and occupied the residence as of January 1st of the current tax year. Also, the property must be a primary residence and owners are eligible for only one homestead exemption if they own more than one property. Applicants must provide copies of their Texas driver's license or state ID card and a current vehicle registration receipt, and all required documents must match the physical address of the residence for which they are making application. If an applicant does not own a vehicle, they must submit a notarized affidavit certifying that fact and providing a copy of a current utility bill indicating the property address. A homestead may include up to 20 acres of land that are part of the residential use or occupancy of a home. The residential homestead exemption filing deadline is April 30th each year. The Property Tax Code allows for late filed applications. However, they may be filed no later than 1 year after the tax delinquency date. Once the exemption is approved, reapplication is not required unless requested by the appraisal district. However, notification must be provided to the appraisal district if and when a right to the exemption ends or qualifications change. An over 65 exemption application is required when an owner becomes eligible, unless the appraisal district has the property owner's date of birth indicating over 65 exemption eligibility. In this instance, the appraisal district will apply the over 65 exemption without application. However, the disability exemption requires application when the property owner becomes eligible. The appraisal district website, www.jacksoncad.org, has applications that may be printed from the link titled Public Assistance and Information. Property owners may contact our office at 361-782-7115 and request an exemption application be mailed. Or visitors to the appraisal district office may request an application from an appraisal district staff member. Appraisal district staff members are available to assist property owners with questions about any exemption allowed by the Texas Property Tax Code and the associated application requirements. A member of our staff will provide a property owner with a homestead exemption application upon request and present additional information or assistance on how to appropriately fill one out. The completed application may then be left with the staff member for processing. Anyone visiting the appraisal district is also invited to complete a short public service survey to indicate the quality of service provided. Surveys may be obtained from any staff member or on the front counter. The form may be placed in the survey box located in the lobby. Property owners unable to visit the district office may refer to the following summary of the homestead exemption application for further understanding of how it should be filled out. The first items that must be filled out on the homestead exemption application form are located in Step 1. You will need to indicate the year for which you are seeking exemptions and the date you began occupying the property as your principal residence. Next, check the yes or no box indicating if you own the property for which you are seeking an exemption. A late homestead exemption may be filed no later than 1 year after the tax delinquency date. In Step 2, all of the following information is required: owner's name, mailing address, city, state, and zip code, phone number, driver's license, personal ID certificate or social security number, date of birth, percent of ownership, and any other owner names and owner's percentage of ownership if applicable. Step 3. Describe the property for which you are seeking exemptions by indicating the property's street address, city, state, and zip code. Then enter the legal description and appraisal district account number of the property if known. Residential properties with more than 1 acre may apply for up to 20 acres and should be indicated here. If the residence is a manufactured home, a space is provided to indicate the make, model, and identification number. Step 4. You will need to identify the exemptions that apply to you and indicate whether you are transferring a tax ceiling. If you are only applying for the residential homestead exemption, please check the General Residence Homestead Exemption box. Step 5. Applicants must provide copies of their Texas driver's license or state ID card and a current vehicle registration receipt, and all required documents must match the physical address of the residence for which they are making application. If an applicant does not own a vehicle, they must submit a notarized affidavit certifying that fact and provide a copy of a current utility bill indicating the property address. If the applicant is requesting the age 65 or older or disabled exemption and are not specifically identified on the deed or other applicable document, they must provide an affidavit or other compelling evidence establishing ownership in the residence. Manufactured home owners are required to attach a copy of the statement of ownership and location for the manufactured home issued by the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs showing the applicant is the owner of the manufactured home. Additionally, they will need to provide a verified copy of the purchase contract or a payment receipt showing the applicant is the purchaser. In the event that this document is not available, an affidavit must be submitted. Step 6 applies to owners occupying a cooperative housing unit who have an exclusive right to occupy the unit because of their cooperative housing stock ownership. Please mark the appropriate box as applicable. Step 7 is required to finalize the form. A signature and date by the property owner will be required on the line indicated "Sign here." By signing this document, you state that the facts in this application are true and correct, that you do not claim a residence homestead exemption on another residence homestead in Texas, and that you do not claim a residence homestead exemption on a residence homestead outside of Texas. False statements on this application could result in legal action under the Texas Penal Code, Section 37.10. Completed homestead exemption applications may be mailed to the Jackson County Appraisal District or hand-delivered to the office. Driving directions are also available on our website, www.jacksoncad.org. We appreciate your interest in how to file a residential homestead exemption. We hope this presentation helps property owners further understand the definition of a homestead, the benefits provided by a homestead exemption, and necessary qualifications for exemption eligibility. Also, information regarding filing dates and deadlines, where the form may be obtained, the sections of the Homestead Exemption application, and where to file the completed form was presented for additional assistance. If you have any questions, please contact us at 361-782-7115. Thank you.